The car stops in front of the old house. White ribbons hang from the porch. Everything smells like roses and fresh paint. I take a deep breath before stepping out. My mother opens the door too quickly. Her smile is rehearsed, her hug too brief. "You made it," she says without warmth. "Your sister will be thrilled." Her voice trembles on the word thrilled. Inside, the living room looks like a showroom. Boxes of candles, silk flowers, programs stacked high. I remember this house filled with noise and silence. Now it's both again. My father appears with a clipboard. He doesn't hug me. Just a nod, a task, a tone of command. "Fold these, stack those, be useful." I bite my tongue, the old reflex returning. The golden child's wedding, the family's redemption. The same play, new costumes. Then she appears at the stairs. Huang. The bride-to-be, radiant and impatient. Phone pressed to her ear, giving orders. Her laughter sharp, her eyes polished like glass. She spots me but doesn't stop talking. When she finally does, it's only for a second. "Thank God you came," she says without looking. "The caterer's a disaster, Mom. Lost the seating chart." I stand there, half a guest, half invisible. Her fiancé arrives at sunset. Quan. Perfect hair, perfect suit, perfect smile. He shakes my hand too hard. "I've heard so much about you," he says. His watch gleams under the chandelier. Data analyst, right? Impressive stuff. He mentions crypto funds, global partners, private access. Every sentence sounds like a performance. My father leans in, hungry for the success he never had. I listen, counting inconsistencies in his words. A pause too long. A number too round. A promise too easy. Dinner is a blur of voices and praise. Quan speaks, they adore him. I ask one question about regulations. He laughs it off, says, "Trust is the new currency." My mother frowns at me. "Not everyone wants to talk business, Minh Anh." Of course not. They never did. Later, in my old room, I unpack slowly. The air smells like lavender and dust. A single photo sits on the nightstand. Huang in her graduation gown, surrounded by family. I'm not in it. Outside, laughter drifts through the window. I open my laptop. The savings balance glows on the screen. Enough to stand alone forever. I scroll through old memories instead. Science fairs. Scholarships. Empty seats where they should have been. My reflection stares back from the dark monitor. I'm home, I whisper to no one. But home feels like a place that forgot my name. The house sleeps under soft yellow light. I wander through the hallway barefoot. The smell of candle, wax lingers in the air. On the kitchen table lies a pile of bills. Among them, a thick envelope half open. I pull it free and read the first line. Mortgage refinancing. My heart drops like a stone. The house was almost paid off. Now it's tied to Quan's promises. I flip through the pages, every signature neat and trusting. 15 years of savings, turned into one reckless gamble. I close the file as footsteps approach. My mother appears in her robe. She freezes when she sees me holding the papers. "Just business," she murmurs. "Your father knows what he's doing." I want to ask since when. But she's already gone. Her perfume fades faster than the truth. Back in my room, I can't sleep. The numbers run through my mind like sirens. Something about Quan's portfolio doesn't add up. Morning comes too soon. I drive into town with an excuse about coffee. Instead, I visit the public registry. His company isn't listed anywhere. No license, no tax record, nothing. Just a trail of fake addresses and phone numbers. I jot them down, each one colder than the last. Outside the library, I meet a familiar voice. Minh Anh. Dai Lan, my mother's sister, holding a basket of flowers. Her eyes narrow with quiet concern. You see it too, don't you? She whispers. I nod. She sighs. Your father won't listen, says I'm jealous. She tells me about a neighbor who lost everything. Same pitch, same smile, different name. I feel the world tilt slightly. Maybe it's not just greed. Maybe it's a pattern. In the afternoon, I visit my old teacher, Mr. Than. He greets me with surprise and pride. You were always the sharp one, he says. I read about your work online. I blink. No one in my family ever mentioned it. He notices my unease. Your parents still don't know. I shake my head. He frowns. Then it's time they do. But first, the truth about Kwan. I spend the evening cross-checking databases. 3 aliases. 3 disappearances. Same timeline. Same story. Charm, investment, escape. My cursor stops on a headline from 2 years ago. Local woman defrauded before wedding. The photo shows Kwan under another name. Same eyes. Same ring on his finger. I print everything. The noise of the printer feels like thunder. This isn't just about saving them. It's about proving I'm not invisible anymore. When I return home, lights fill every window. Laughter echoes through the walls. They're celebrating rehearsal dinner. I stand outside for a moment, clutching the papers. Tomorrow, they'll know who he really is. And maybe, finally, who I am too. Dinner begins with candlelight and tension. My father sits at the head of the table. My mother smooths napkins like apologies. Hyewon glows beside Kwan, her laughter too bright. I place the folder on the table between the plates. This needs to be read, I say quietly. My father frowns. Can it wait until after dinner? It can't. I slide the documents toward him. Bank records, registry searches, printed photos. Every lie spelled out in black ink. For a moment, no one breathes. Then my mother whispers, "What is this?" "It's who he really is," I answer. Kwan's smile freezes. He glances at Hyewon, then at me. "That's absurd," he says smoothly. "I have a common face. People make mistakes. 3 names, 3 fiancés, same story." My voice doesn't shake. Hyewon pushes her chair back. "Stop it, you're ruining everything." Her eyes glisten, but anger burns behind them. Father slams his hand against the table. "You don't understand investments." "It's not an investment," I reply. "It's a trap." He rises halfway, pointing at the papers. "You always think you're smarter than everyone." I meet a stare without blinking. I am smart enough to read numbers. Silence stretches like a wound. Mother's hands tremble as she reaches for Hyewon. "She's jealous," she says weakly. She always has been. Jealous. That old word again, sharp as glass. I take a slow breath. This isn't about jealousy, it's about math. Kwan leans forward, calm but calculating. "Maybe you should let professionals handle business." "I am a professional," I say. He tilts his head. "In what exactly?" The moment opens like a door I've waited years to step through. "I'm a senior data analyst in HN letter 1ED9I, I say. Top of my class at university, 6-figure salary." The words land heavy and real. Mother gasps softly. Father shakes his head. "No. You went to the local college." "I didn't," I say. "I left. I built my own life." I reach into my bag and pull out my ID card. It glints in the light like proof of survival. "You never noticed because you never looked." Hyewon's face twists between disbelief and rage. "You think that makes you better?" "No," I whisper. "It just makes me visible." Father's voice breaks the air again. "You will not talk to us this way in our house." I gather the papers, my heart beats steady now. "When he disappears with your money," I say softly. "Remember someone tried to warn you." No one answers. Even the clock seems to hold its breath. I walk to the doorway, folder pressed to my chest. Behind me, Huang sobs, mother pleads, father curses. Quan says nothing. His silence confirms everything. Outside, the night feels cleaner. Cold wind, clear sky, and the sound of freedom. I don't look back. The morning starts with silence and coffee. 2 days until the wedding. My phone won't stop buzzing. 17 missed calls. 22 unread messages. I let it ring again and again. Then a voicemail cuts through the noise. My Ann, he's gone. My father's voice cracks. He took everything. Please call back. Another follows. The accounts are empty. Even your mother's retirement fund. The last message trembles. Please come home, we need you. I stare at the screen until it blurs. Outside, the city hums like nothing happened. People rushing, cars honking, life continuing. I sip my coffee, bitter and grounding. They never called to say they were proud. Only when disaster came. A message from Huang appears next. You were right, I didn't listen, please help. The words dig deeper than I expect. I close my eyes, the memories replay. Their faces that night. The disbelief. The dismissal. The way they pushed me out. Now they reach for me like a lifeline. I scroll through the messages again. Part of me wants to ignore them. Another part still aches to protect. I call my mentor, Ms. Lin. Her calm voice steadies the air. They finally believe you, she asks. Yes, I whisper. Now that everything's gone. What will you do? I stare at the horizon through the window. I don't know yet. She pauses before answering. Boundaries aren't punishment, they're clarity. Her words settle in my chest. I hang up and open my laptop. Flight booked. 1 suitcase packed. This time, not for them. For closure. When I arrive, the house looks smaller. The wedding tent, half collapsed in the yard. Flowers wilted, chairs stacked like gravestones. My mother opens the door. Her eyes are swollen, her voice small. You came, she says. I nod, but don't step inside yet. My father paces behind her, phone in hand. He hangs up the moment he sees me. We thought you could help, he says quickly. Just until we sort things out. His tone still commands, but his eyes beg. What kind of help? I ask. He clears his throat. Financial, temporary of course. The word burns more than it should. Mom wrings her hands. People are talking, the bank, the club, everyone. And Huang sits curled on the couch, silent. She looks smaller, wearing my old sweater. If you had supported us sooner, she murmurs. Maybe this wouldn't have happened. I almost laugh. The reflex dies halfway. I warned you, I say softly. She meets my eyes. I know, I just didn't want to believe it. The room smells of wilted flowers and regret. I drop my bag beside the chair. I'll help, I say at last. But not the way you expect. No one breathes. No one thanks me. They just look scared. And for the first time, I don't. The house feels colder than before. The walls echo with unspoken guilt. I sit across from them, in the living room. My father's eyes are tired but still proud. My mother avoids my gaze, twisting her ring. Huang keeps her distance, arms wrapped around herself. They are waiting for my decision. I take a slow breath. I'll help, I say again. But we need to set clear terms. Father straightens in his chair. Terms, this is family, not business. That's the problem, I answer quietly. I pull out a folder from my bag. 3 copies of a document slide across the table. Mother's brows knit together. What's this? A formal agreement, I explain. It outlines what I can and cannot do. Father scoffs. You think we'd sign something like that? I think you should read it first. He hesitates, then puts on his glasses. The clock ticks between each breath. The first page lists debts, assets, and repayment plans. The second page lists boundaries. I will handle the legal process. I will connect them with a financial advisor. I will not give direct cash. Mother's lips part, offended. You have enough money to save us. I have enough to save myself, I reply. Her eyes fill with tears. Father's voice sharpens. We raised you, fed you, gave you everything. I shake my head slowly. You gave me survival, not love. The words hang heavy in the air. Hyewang finally speaks, her tone brittle. So you're doing this to punish us? No, I say. I'm doing this to stay whole. I point to the last page of the contract. It contains a single paragraph. An acknowledgement of emotional neglect. Years of favoritism. Years of silence when I needed them most. Mother gasps. That's cruel. What was cruel, I say softly, was pretending I didn't exist. Father leans back, jaw tight. You've become cold. I've become honest. He doesn't argue. Instead, he signs first. The pen trembles in his hand. Mother hesitates, then follows. Tears drip onto the paper, staining the ink. Hyewang stares at me for a long moment. Finally, she signs too. No words, just the sound of the pen scratching truth. I collect the documents carefully. I'll transfer funds to cover the mortgage, I say. But through an advisor, not directly. Father opens his mouth, but I raise a hand. This isn't negotiable. The power in my voice surprises even me. For the first time, they listen. Not because they want to, but because they have to. I stand, smoothing my coat. I'll stay 3 days to finalize everything. Mother whispers, and after that? After that, I say. I go home. Hyewang watches me leave the room. Her voice follows like a question. When did you become this person? When you stopped seeing who I was. The door closes behind me with quiet finality. A full year passes before I notice. The quiet no longer feels empty. The mornings start with sunlight, not alarms. My apartment in Hanoi is gone. Now I live in a small house with a garden. The walls are lined with books and framed memories. The diploma that once hid in a closet hangs above my desk. Its gold letters catch the light like forgiveness. I open my laptop to check the mentorship schedule. 3 students call me teacher now. They are young, brave, and learning to stand tall. One of them, Lynn, sends a message. I got the scholarship, she writes, full of joy. I smile and type back, you earned it. Outside, the garden hums with life. Tomato vines climb the fence. Mint grows wild along the edge of the path. Every plant started from a seed I placed there myself. Growth is slower than pain, but more honest. The phone buzzes on the table. A text from Aunt Lan arrives. Your parents are trying to refinance again. Hyung found work at the local bank. She's in therapy twice a month. They still don't call, but they ask about you. I read the message twice. No anger rises, no sorrow either. Just a quiet understanding that distance can heal. I delete the text and water the plants. The soil is cool between my fingers. Sometimes healing feels like tending something small. At the community center that evening, the lights glow warm. Rows of women listen as I speak about financial safety. We talk about boundaries, about saying no without guilt. After class, a teenager named Ma lingers behind. She reminds me of myself at 17. My boyfriend wants me to invest in his app, she says. I shake my head gently. Ask for documents. If he refuses, you already have your answer. She laughs nervously but nods. The future might spare her the mistakes my family made. When I drive home, the city hums like a heartbeat. My house waits in quiet warmth. I pour tea and sit by the window. The moon rests low above the trees. The rose bush I cut last year now blooms again. Its petals unfold like small acts of courage. I think about my family's silence, my sister's tears, my father's pride. They are part of me, but not the whole. The ache has turned into understanding. Some stories don't end in reconciliation. Some end in peace. I walk outside and breathe in the night air. The world smells of rain and soil and renewal. The wind brushes against my hair like a promise. I whisper to the garden. Some things grow stronger when cut back. The stars seem to agree. I close my eyes and feel the weight lift. For the first time, I don't need anyone to see me. I already see myself. Morning light spills across the garden. Dew glistens on the rose petals. I sip tea slowly, feeling time settle. The world outside hums, distant but kind. My phone rests face down on the table. No calls. No messages. Only silence, and it feels like peace. The scars of the past don't sting anymore. They've become part of the map I walk. I check the scholarship inbox one last time. A new message appears. A student writes, "You saw me when no one else did." My throat tightens. Maybe that's the real legacy, seeing others clearly. The sun climbs higher, warm and forgiving. Wind moves through the leaves like a quiet song. I touch the stem of the rose bush again. New buds wait beneath the thorns. They'll bloom when they're ready. I stand there, hands steady, heart light. No need to look back anymore. The past is a closed chapter. The future, an open field. And in between them, I stand. Whole, rooted, visible.